Every Tesla owner's biggest fear is the dreaded bricked Tesla. With a major hurricane on the way, we lived the nightmare, and this is the story of how we attempted to revive our Tesla Model 3 while under flash flood warnings. While it didn't end well, we want to share what happened and give some tips on how you can revive your Tesla if you end up in the same predicament. In this video, we show you what to do when you get the dreaded 12-volt battery warning. We show multiple strategies to use to try and open your frunk in case you get bricked. And finally, we show all the steps to take if you choose to replace the battery yourself. Cue our first mistake, where Zach takes my car to work instead of his to the service center.
Well, I was heading to the office this morning and I got an alert. All kinds of low power, low voltage system alerts go off, and I figured right away it was probably the battery. I did go to the office, and that was probably my mistake. I probably should have thrown this battery charger on there because I came back home to take it in to get a new battery, and the car wouldn't even go into drive. So we'll see if this battery charger is able to give it a little bit more juice, enough to get me to take it in to get swapped out. We'll see what happens.
Fingers crossed.
Yep.
If you get the 12-volt warning and are not able to immediately drive it to the service center, I highly, highly recommend opening the frunk and leaving a window down so you have access to the vehicle. We asked for the availability of mobile service in hopes to receive priority due to the circumstances, but their response was to drive the car in, the undrivable car. Their next response was to just tow it in. Fortunately, the hurricane made a turn southward, and we determined that we did not need to evacuate. So Zach rushed to the service center to get a 12-volt battery to switch out himself, since everyone said it was easy. But things were not as easy as we'd hoped, and encountered more problems along the way. Replacing the 12-volt one day before the hurricane hit was a curveball that we were not prepared for. All right, so you thought that you were doing the right thing because you had the frunk popped.
I thought I had it open. I had it all the way open. For whatever reason, I decided to close it a little bit, but it must have just caught because you notice it's open, but it is not open.
Yeah, and so it like latched itself?
Yeah, because I think, you know how hoods have the two levels of latching? One where it, in case it's not like all the way closed, it's caught, and I don't think I can release it.
Our second mistake was to close the window and lower the frunk. Zach thought he would be able to drive the car in and had rolled the window up so he wouldn't get rain in the car. Step 1 of battery replacement is to open the frunk.
Alright, so we're supposed to...
so it's the little front.
Yeah, it's this little circular thing right here. We're supposed to push at about 2 o'clock. I've never opened this on our cars, so sometimes I've heard it can be a little tough to get the first time.
All right, so if the first time you don't succeed, try again.
Yep, and apparently your cast iron.
My cast iron scraper for cleaning the cast iron from Lodge. Thank you.
Yep. That
did the trick. Helped you pry it open. So
okay. So now we have this, and we have one cable attached to it, and looking for the other right here. Okay, so it looks like that one's actually zip tied to it. Let's take a 9-volt or a 12-volt. Either one should work. And we just have to make sure we go positive, positive, negative, negative. So that is positive.
And our old battery from our battery drawer hopefully works.
I think it's actually a new battery. Can you pull up on the...
Nope.
Alright, hang on. We might need to actually... Because I thought I heard a click, so I'm going to close it all the way. It was like half open. Alright, so again, I got positive, on positive, and then... Oh, come on. I hear something. The infamous A23. This little guy packs a 12-volt punch. We'll see if it works.
Okay, so we failed with the 9-volt. We failed with the second 9-volt,
And,
making sure it was brand new.
It was. We really had a dead battery. So, if this works, that's my theory.
And if it doesn't work?
If it doesn't work, we're going to pause recording, say a few choice words, and then continue on.
We'll be a one-car family for a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Not doing anything.
Insurance. After a full day of exhausting all of our ideas, charging the battery, using a 9-volt, a 12-volt, jumping with our friend's Land Rover, and even waiting overnight to ensure the car was totally dead before trying the 9-volt again, we are on to our last idea, jumping the car with the new 12-volt battery we had picked up from Tesla.
All right, you ready? There's nothing.
Oh my gosh, it's a miracle! All right, so we had multiple failures in the past day.
Yeah, let's just talk about the front with these little wires. So, a bunch of videos out there about using just a little 9-volt battery, a bunch of videos out there about using the A23 batteries. Maybe that works for some people, but this thing was so dead that we heard a little noise when we were trying to use the batteries, and even tried jumping it off of an ice car. I don't know why that didn't work. That really had me scratching my head. We just let the car sit overnight, and we just jumped it off of the new battery that I got yesterday, and that finally did the trick. So now where we're at, we're finally back in the front car. I'm not closing this until we're done. Yeah, we take this panel off. It's already a little loose because I've been in here before. But we're gonna take that panel off, and then this little air diffuser pops out as well, and that's gonna give us full access to where we need to be. There we go.
It's using the same pins that this had.
Yeah, these are just those little quick snap pins.
Yeah.
Now I've got full access to this, so we'll go back to using the little jumper. The reason this jumper didn't work was because it needs to detect the battery, and these little jumper wires or tow wires weren't, it wasn't a battery, so it wasn't even turning on. So now this guy should be able to...
And why are you using those on the battery?
Because we have to get back into the car because I have to disconnect the high voltage.
Okay.
So...
And we are locked out of we basically have been bricked out of the car all weekend in the middle of a hurricane.
Yep.
So we are trying to get it up and running just in case we need to move it.
And we're one big step closer now, finally. So.
And for the record, it was just a matter of a few hours because we had to go get the new battery, and the car sat while that was happening yesterday. And it was a matter of a few hours between when we got the 12-volt warning to when we could no longer open the trunk.
Right.
So it seems to be literally like it does not matter what you're doing. You have to go straight to the service center or hope that you can get it popped before it goes dead. It was not a long amount of time.
And the truth of the matter is, by the time we got the alert, like I knew it was a battery from the alerts, and I knew it was about 4 years old, so I figured it out, at like 7 in the morning when I was going to work, but I didn't take it right to the service center. I took your car instead because I had to get to work. And we didn't truly get the notification until noon. And this thing was completely dead, locked out within just a couple hours of that alert where it said, schedule service soon to replace battery soon. It wasn't expressing that emergency, that you gotta get into the car right away.
And to be honest, I know I've read in the forums of people that have said that they don't even get an alert, and then other people who have driven it multiple times since they've gotten the alert. So it doesn't seem to be consistent, and you just have to treat it like you're the person where you have no time.
Yeah.
Because Tesla service was basically saying if the 9-volt didn't work, we were going to have to tow it in.
Or a jumper. You know, they're saying to use a jumper, which, again, this one wouldn't work without being on a battery. So, anyway, we're back in now.
And the other thing,
Yeah.
maybe just leave everything open so you
Yes.
have access to the vehicle if you
Yes.
cannot immediately drive it.
And I thought of that. I made the mistake of lowering the front, and I was trying to just leave it open just a little bit. I don't know why
And
I couldn't
it
just do
latched
this.
itself.
And it latched on that primary latch, even though it was still open, and I was stuck. So that was my other error. And of course, I got myself locked out of the cabin too.
Yeah, we were. I had rarely have any knowledge of cars, but I mentioned maybe leaving the window down, but he thought he had it going and he was going to drive, you know, hurricane rain to the service center.
So I didn't want to
So he
move this down,
rolled
so-
it up, and yeah, so he's been kicking himself, but we got it going.
Yep. So plan A is to use this thing. For some reason this doesn't work, then I can just hook the battery directly up to it to get in the car. Because the big thing is I want to disconnect. Oh, that's the sign.
Yep.
It's coming back to life.
It kind of sounds a little like it's dying.
Yeah, it's very weak. So there
Can you unlock it from the app now?
I'm gonna try in a minute. I mean, it's got a really
Or
it's
use your fob.
Yeah, go in and get that. It's got a really low voltage.
We're having various stages of dying horn to faster horn to lights flashing, but the doors are still not ready to open. Oh, there it
Yep,
goes.
the app just works.
So we need to open the driver and the rear passenger. Is it the rear passenger? Correct?
Yeah. Okay, not enough power to do that yet, but we're in. Not enough power for this one yet, apparently. So, we got enough power to open that. Not enough power for that one yet, but I do not want this door to close and lock on me again, so I'm just going to take a rag here and stick it in here. So there's no way.
So it won't latch, kind of like our frunk did to us yesterday.
Yeah.
Hey, where was that idea yesterday, sir?
Yeah. Okay, so now we just need this to get a little bit more power to be able to open the back door, to be able to get at the high voltage. Because it's low. All that, like opening that door, it dropped the voltage all the way down to 8.3. So.
Okay, and so your car is like 6.5 years old now,
Yeah.
right? This is the second time you're replacing the 12 volt.
Yeah.
We also have a newer 2023, and that one has a lithium ion, so we should make it past the 3-4 year mark, but we'll see how much longer it will really last.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you get the car open, it's now time to remove the old battery. All right, so we couldn't get the door open yet, but we are hurricane ready with our flashlights, so we had a flashlight ready to go.
Okay, so I'm feeling under here for a little release for the seat.
All right, so you found the seat release ones in the middle.
Yeah, there might be one on the other side too.
Okay.
There we go.
The first thing you need to do is remove the low voltage connector located under the rear passenger seat. What tools are you using here?
A 10 millimeter socket wrench. Loosen up the little bracket here, and loosen up each of the terminals, and then we can swap out the battery. So that's what we're about to do, but that is the right size. Make sure I don't lose any of this. There we go. All right, that's that part. Okay, so that's done. Now I need the battery. There we go. There. I got the little vent hose thing, same story. I don't want that to disappear.
So we pulled a little vent hose out here.
Yeah.
You can't really see. That's
That's like, for venting gas out of the battery. Let me just see real quick how tight this was.
Okay, so you're putting it in the towel because it's the positive one?
Yeah. Just kind of wrap that up like that. All right. Now, battery.
And you're saving around it's close to $50.
No, only like 30. And I'm glad I would have paid the 30 to avoid all this.
But that's just because the car died.
Yeah.
This actual part of replacing the battery is going quicker.
Yeah, this isn't bad.
Oh, there it is. Our next step is to reattach the low voltage connector. Earlier we were having trouble when we were detaching it to try to maneuver and show you what it looks like underneath the seat. But here you can clearly see that the harness just goes on and you lift the latch on the side to lock it into place. Next, you just drop the penthouse foam cover into place.
Just rests right on there. Looks like that. And then this should...
So now he's got to reattach the vent plug and the connections.
Yep. There, it's in. Okay, so we got that plug in.
So is this part on some cars and not
Yeah,
others? Just this
seems
part.
like it's different on cars. Am I in? Feels like it.
All right, so basically just undoing what we did before.
Yep, so we got this tied back down, figured I'd just take care of that right away. And we got the vent hose plugged in here. So then we just need to connect the positive terminal, negative terminal.
Okay. Okay, got the positive on, and now we're going to reattach the negative.
Please wait while high voltage system powers up. So let's just give it a second to
See if it can clear. Yeah.
It's all working.
It's now Wednesday afternoon. We're finally starting to get a little rain. It's going to make landfall pretty soon in South Florida, and we are currently still dealing with the car battery. We don't have it fixed yet after all of our attempts, but Zach's out there, so we're hoping that a reboot after it sat for a little while will help. So let's find out.
So it says the high voltage system is powering up, but we'll go into service mode to see what's going on. It says it's got a fault. It's probably not good. I knew that seeing the pyrotechnic battery disconnect fault warning could mean one of two things. Either the fuse is truly blown and it needs to be replaced, or for some reason it's just failing diagnostics. So next step is to determine if it's truly blown.
All right, so you came out here to reboot, you said, or see if it cleared?
Basically, the high voltage system is isolated. I don't know why the contactors are not closed, which means that the car has just been draining the new battery now. So now I'm going to disconnect everything and charge the new battery back up to see if that'll finally clear all the errors.
Okay.
So we're going to basically have to go back in
and you powered it off. I see you have your
I powered
towels
it off,
protected
from anything. So we'll got to do this whole number all over again. Get this all apart.
Meanwhile, we can hear the rain pouring now outside.
Yep. So, I don't know. This is definitely not a quick and easy task here.
I know, which is what everybody's been telling me, which if it was simply the battery, that part was actually easy, but it's not simply the battery.
Yeah, so I'm gonna disconnect the battery, hook up the charger, and give it another go. See what happens.
Our last-ditch feeble effort to recharge and reboot failed. The 2018 Tesla Model 3 received its first true maintenance in 6 years of ownership. The pyro fuse had in fact blown. Tesla charged us for another new 12-volt battery, and the pyro fuse was only $35. However, we paid hundreds of dollars in labor. After a tow to the service center that is quite a distance away, the 2 batteries and the actual service, we were out nearly $1,000. They tried to ease the blow by offering up a Model X loaner, which we will have more featuring that car soon. We were fortunate that Milton passed just south of our home overnight. There was plenty of rain and some wind, but we were very fortunate. Just an hour or so south of us, there was significant flooding, and we definitely are thinking of our Gulf Coast friends during this time, as the hurricane season has been quite rough there. Despite the issues with the car, we were happy to see that there were little to no delays for people trying to evacuate in their Teslas and utilize superchargers. In fact, there were many gas shortages, even in our area. In the future, we may simply be more proactive in changing the 12-volt battery in Zach's car so we don't have this sort of incredibly bad timing. In the end, this headache was manageable, and one maintenance issue in 6 years is not that bad when you consider the fact that we never need to stop in for even an oil change. We're excited to see how durable the car is going forward, though.